Welcome back to the channel. Today in the shop I got a 2014 GMC Sierra. The AC is not blowing cold. Now I know based off experience that these trucks have problems with the AC condenser leaking, but we're going to go through the procedure to make sure that's what it is and to make sure there is no other leaks. So let's go diag this. Alright, I've got my gauge set out. I'm only going to hook up the low side for this. I just want to read pressure. There's the low side. Now we'll go to the gauge. Got no pressure. System is empty. Okay, being that the system is empty, there's obviously a leak. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to put shop air into the system to pressurize it, and then we're going to squirt water and soap on all the fittings, the crimp connectors, all the connectors, and just see if there's any leaks whatsoever. Like I said, the condenser is the most common problem with these, so we'll take a good look at that too. Nitrogen is best to use doing this, but I don't have nitrogen and it's been leaking, so there's already air getting into it, so this is not going to harm it. So we're going to try this. One-handed's kind of rough. Just going to put it during the center of my gauge set. Open the low side valve a little bit. There we go. Got about 100 on the low side. That should be fine just to check for leaks. And so now what we're going to do is take water and soap and just spray down the connectors and see if we can't find a leak. So we'll start at the evap core. Kind of like a tire, finding a nail in a tire, just gonna see if bubbles keep reappearing. I'm not seeing any reappear there. Try the crimp right next to it. Not seeing anything there. We'll try the high side port because we're not using it. Not seeing anything there. Here's one more crimp. Nothing there. I don't see anything there. Now a couple hard spots is going to be at the compressor. That's going to be a hard angle to get you at. And then right down here where the lines go into the condenser. So I'm going to spray those off camera, make sure they're not leaking. But for now we're going to go to the condenser. Like I said, this is the most common place. So it's going to be right in this area is where they like to leak. So we're going to spray there first. There it is. I don't know if it's capturing that, but right on that little circle spot, you can see all the bubbles forming. That's air escaping the condenser. See it get bigger and bigger, still blowing out bubbles. So, the very most common spot is where it's leaking so far. Like I said, I am going to spray those two spots where it's hard to get the camera just to verify. So we'll quote the customer, hopefully get the job. If we do, you'll see a part 2 on how to replace the condenser. If not, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Okay, here's part 2. Let's go to replacing this AC condenser. First thing we're going to have to do is take off this big plastic cover. Just I think 12 of these clips. And it's just going to pull out. Now we are going to have to take off the air box. So I've already unhooked the 2 lines there and undid the 8mm straps. Pull that out of the way. Now we're going to get the air box out of the way. Pull up the red safety tab, unhook it. You have a little holder down here that's connected to the air box. Get that out of the way. Now you can just pull up on the air box. It's got some grommets and two of the things on the back and then one on the Now you're going to have to at least loosen these 2 bars on either end and swing them out of the way, so we'll do that. This one. Okay, now on the passenger side, we gotta remove this little piece right here so we can get a couple bolts underneath here. So just these 2 tabs we gotta take off. Push pins. Same as that big plastic piece that we took off first. Now we can fold that down a little bit. Like so. And I don't know if you can see them, but they're right up in here. They're 10mm bolts. There's one right here, and then one over here. I'm just gonna have to feel. I'm gonna use a ratchet with an extension, so I can just come down a little bit. I've also got a swivel socket on there. Just do it by feel. There's one of them. This one, on this side over here, you might have to do with a regular just socket and ratchet. Just use 3/8 drive. I mean quarter. 3/8 was too big to fit in there. So I'll finish getting that one out. And there's one just underneath this tab right here. Follow it down. And there's one right there too. I'll get those out and then I'll show you the other side. Okay, got the last bolt out. Now before we go to the other side and do the other 3, we're gonna have to take off this 13mm bolt that holds the radiator to this upper bracket that we're trying to remove. So I'll go ahead and take that out. And then now we'll move on to the other side. Okay, here we are on the driver's side. You can see there's one bolt right here. One right here. And there's one behind the washer solvent, kind of in the same location. So I'm going to get my extension, use it where I can. Might have to use a ratcheting wrench or a socket and ratchet. Whatever the case may be, we got to get these 3 out. So I'm going to go ahead and get those out. There we go. Got the last one out. Got those 3 out. Now for this far one, next to the fender, I had to use a ratcheting wrench. This middle one, I used a swivel socket with the extension. And then for one behind the washer solvent, I used a swivel socket with the extension. So now the last thing we got to take off on this driver's side is the radiator bolt that bolts it to this cross member we're trying to take off. So we'll get that off. Now there's one more bolt up top right here by the latch that we're going to get to. So let me get you there. Okay, the last bolt we got to take out before we can pull this off is this 13mm right behind the latch. Get this out and then we'll take this out, and that's going to give us a better view of the condenser and radiator and everything. Now we got to finagle this out of here somehow. There we go. Now we have this plastic piece that we gotta get off. So I'm gonna grab the camera and give you the little tabs we gotta pull up to get these off. So if you look right here, there's a tab on both sides. You gotta get underneath of it There we go, there's that side. And the other one's right here. So we'll get under it, try to pop it off. There we go. And then you just pull it up like that. Then it comes off. So now put it back up here. There we go. So here's your condenser, here's your radiator. Now, you do have two lines on each side. Those are transcooler lines that are connected to the condenser. So what we do is pop a little plastic piece off. Right here. Now you probably will lose a little trans fluid when you pull this off. When you get the line out. There we go. Got a little clip we're going to take out. These can be a pain sometimes. Don't want to lose it though. You're going to need it. Always good to have extras. There we go. Look like that. Put that right here. Let's see if we can't just pull this out. Probably not. It's probably in there pretty good. So we'll go to the other side, get that other clip out. Put that one right there. Now these could be tough, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get these lines off, and then we'll come back. Okay, I've got both sides of the transmission lines off. Over here on the passenger side, I also took the two lines all the way at the bottom down here by the radiator. See if you can get a shot of it. Those two lines right there, and there's a 13mm nut. Now before you remove any lines from the condenser, absolutely make sure that the AC system is recovered, there's no pressure, recovered properly, and then go ahead and take that 13mm bolt out, pull those lines off, and you'll see each line has a little O-ring type thing, which looks like that. I've already replaced them. And then also you'll see right here, there's a 10mm bolt. This is a little holder for the two lines. Take that out. And then right here there's a tab. Now if we gotta take that tab and pull it back, or push it back, pull up on the condenser. It's gonna be hard to do with holding the camera, but on both sides, it's the same thing on both sides. So I'm gonna go ahead and set you up and do that. All right, so you're gonna, like I said, push in those two tabs and then lift up on the condenser, both sides. There we go. Make sure everything's free. side cover just came off. That's all right, we'll put it back on. So pulling it out, here's your two lines. This was getting caught up underneath the body or whatever a little bit, so just wouldn't wiggle that out and pull it out. Here's that holder that you'll probably have to put on the other condenser. So we'll go ahead and swap those over and then start putting in the condenser. Okay, here's the new condenser. I've swapped over the side pieces. Remember, this one came off. I just put it on the new one. This one stayed on, so I put it on the new one. Here's your little bracket for the holder, or for the two lines. So before we can put that in though, look at all this debris in here. We're gonna have to clean all that up first, make it look way better than that, and then we'll go back to putting the condenser back in. Okay, I've got the debris cleaned up, radiator cleaned up. Now we're gonna install the new condenser. Condenser has 4 tabs, 2 on each side. You know, top tab's gonna fit in your top bracket here. Bottom tab's gonna go down here. I'm gonna set you up and install it. There we go. Slide it in. There we go. I've got it in now. Now we're just going to reverse the procedure. Install the 2 lines at the bottom of the passenger side. Install your little holder bracket. And then we'll plug the transmission cooler lines back in. And I'll get some of that all set up. Okay, I've got it all back together. Just reverse the removal procedure. I put it on the AC machine. I put it under a vacuum for 30 minutes to draw out all the moisture and air that was in the system. And then I've charged it, just got done charging at 1.4 pounds. So we're gonna unhook the line and go start it, make sure we got AC. Gonna unhook the low side. Cap it. Now we're going to go start it. We're going to turn on this fan. This is going to simulate us going down the road. It just blows a lot of air into the condenser. So we're going to turn that on. Now we're in it. Just fire it up. AC's already on cold. We'll give it a minute to circulate. Oh yeah, definitely getting cold. Let's put our temp gauge on it. See how low it will go. Dropping pretty quick. Still dropping. Keep in mind it's only like 63, 64 degrees outside. Or in the shop also, I got the doors open. Around 44, 45 degrees. Check here. Should be right around the same. Depending on where my little laser hits. There we go. So there we have it. AC's back working. Showed you how to do the condenser. Make sure you do all the AC stuff, you know, evacuate it and everything in the proper manner. Don't want that stuff getting out in the atmosphere. So that's how I did it. If you like the video, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.